KTN News, Nairobi.
Now, the Kenyans who have been contributing to the housing levy for the past 6 months stand a chance of being refunded their money now that the Court of Appeal has halted contributions to the levy pending the determination of the housing levy. Now, and what becomes of the houses that are currently being built all over the country under the housing program after the Court of Appeal on Friday ruled that the government cannot continue to tax Kenyans to fund the program? KTN's political affairs reporter David Muthoka looks at the implications of the Court of Appeal's Friday ruling on the controversial housing levy.
On Friday morning, the Court of Appeal ruled that Kenyan employees who have in the past 6 months been contributing to the housing levy will from now on not be deducted 1.5% of their salaries to fund President William Ruto's housing program. According to the country's second most powerful court, the government will be going against the law should it continue to collect the housing levy from Kenyans between now and the day it will either decide that the levy is unconstitutional, as the High Court found, or constitutional, as the government insists. In the wake of this ruling that bars the government from collecting more money from Kenyans to finance the housing program, questions are now being raised on whether the government should start thinking about refunding Kenyans the billions of shillings it had already collected since July last year. It is estimated that the government has managed to collect about 36 billion shillings so far, having targeted to collect 73 billion shillings between July last year and June this year to fund President William Ruto's housing program. But according to lawyer Suleiman Bashir, Kenyans who have been taxed in the housing levy will have to wait a little longer to find out whether they will get their refund or not.
The government is not mandated to do a refund either today or tomorrow. Such a prayer was not before the Court of Law, either at the High Court level and now we are at the Court of Appeal. It may be one of the questions that should be determined by the Court of Appeal during the determination stage of the substantive appeal.
Further questions have been raised on what will happen to the houses that have been built using the housing levy, as well as the thousands of construction workers employed under the program after the Court of Appeal cut the money supply. According to lawyer Bashir, the government could be forced to find an alternative source or hope and pray that the Court of Appeal overturns the High Court ruling that rendered the housing levy illegal.
The importance of the project is on one hand, but the validity, the legality of the project is on the other hand. For as long as there's a very crucial or critical people-centered project in our country, in as much as the people need that particular project or activity ought to be done in compliance with the law.
The lawyer has added that the government should not think about defying the court's latest order on the housing levy by continuing to collect the tax or instructing employers to deduct the housing tax. The Federation of Kenyan Employers has since called on employers to immediately stop further deductions.
If the president tries to defy this particular order, it is up to the people of Kenya to come out and address him on that particular question. Himself, the president, is a product of court. He was taken to court, his victory was challenged, then the court okayed his victory. So in other words, it shows you that himself is a product of our courts. So he has no option in terms of defying the very decisions of the courts, which has birthed his position as a president.
The Court of Appeal is yet to give the dates of when it will hear and determine the housing levy case. The case was first heard at the High Court, where a 3-judge bench declared the levy unconstitutional for discriminatorily taxing Kenyans with payslips only. The government was, however, allowed to keep collecting the levy until this Friday. David Muthoka, KTN News, Nairobi.
Meanwhile,